So as you now know, the Senate confirmations are going on. And in this one, this fun time we're having here, this is Back Bondi, who is being questioned by Adam Schiff. And this guy, first off, he should not be a senator. I don't know how California voted for this man to be a senator. You have to remember, this man was censored by Congress for lying, all right? And this is the very guy who said that I have incontrovertible, irrefutable proof of Donald Trump colluding with Russia that nobody's ever seen. Nobody's ever seen one page, one paragraph. Nobody's ever even seen a word. I guess the dog ate it. I guess the dog ate his homework. But during this, he keeps asking her the most ridiculous, pathetic questions. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to goad her and back her into a corner to say that she will not do the very things the Democrats did. And I mean the very things they did with Joe Biden and Merrick Garland's DOJ. It's an absolute travesty. It's an absolute joke. And it's actually pretty damn funny. Because every time he thinks that he's got the high ground, she just smacks his little boy ass right back down onto the ground. Watch this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Bondi, as you know, the Supreme Court in Trump versus United States held the president has absolute immunity to commit crimes in certain core areas of the president's responsibility. One of those core areas is the Justice Department. So in a breathtakingly dangerous and irresponsible decision, Justice Roberts and the majority held the president could commit crimes using the Department of Justice and be immune from prosecution. Justice Sotomayor correctly said this new immunity lies about like a loaded weapon. So the fear and the concern we have is that the incoming president will use that loaded weapon, that immunity, to commit crimes through the Department of Justice. And for that reason, it is all the more important that we have an attorney general who has the independence, the strength, the intestinal fortitude to say no to the president when it is necessary.
You mean like Merrick Garland did? Does anybody recall Merrick Garland saying no to Joe Biden? Because I sure as hell don't. I didn't hear him saying no when they were going after Donald Trump. For how many years did this go on? I didn't hear Merrick Garland say no. Not one time. Or when they went after the Christian groups that literally did nothing wrong. I didn't hear Merrick Garland at that point say Joe Biden no. Because Joe Biden's the one that put him up to it. Wanted those Christian people. Wanted them shut down. Shut up. Shut up. Going after the parents that were concerned about their kids in school being transitioned by a bunch of Fruit Loop teachers and principals and not telling the parent. Deeming them terrorist. Merrick Garland did that. Did he tell Joe Biden no? Of course he didn't. Because they did every bit of that. And now all of a sudden, Binky Boy is worried about Donald Trump doing the very thing that they did? Seriously?
So my first set of questions has to do whether you have the independence to say no when you must say no. And you can say this is hypothetical, but it is not hypothetical. So let me start with one very specific non-hypothetical. The president has said Jack Smith should go to jail. Will you investigate Jack Smith?
Senator, I haven't seen the file. I haven't seen the investigation. I haven't looked at anything. It would be irresponsible of me to make a commitment regarding anything without, you're a long practicing attorney, without looking at a file.
So you would need a
Period.
factual predicate to open an investigation of Jack Smith, is that right?
Not a summary by you sitting here. Yes, sir.
Back Bondi 1, Binky Boy 0. You mean like the predicate for them to investigate Donald Trump? You mean like that? That's a justifiable predicate, that they had to, investigate a former president who was actually running for president again. Yeah, they had all the reason in the world to do that. Yeah, all the legal reason in the world to do that. Let's not forget that.
Not a summary by the president either, right?
Absolutely.
So a summary by the president or his desire to investigate Jack Smith would not be enough for you to open an investigation of Jack Smith. Is that right?
I will look at the facts and evidence in any case.
And sitting here,
72%, excuse me,
sitting here today.
Senator, 72% of
Please,
Americans
I only have
have
7
lost
minutes.
faith
Sitting
in the
here,
Department of Justice.
Sitting here
It's
today,
statements like this.
are you aware of any factual predicate to investigate Jack Smith? Sitting here today, yes or no?
Senator, I will look at the facts and the circumstances.
You
of
can't answer that
anything that's
question.
brought to me.
You're not a part of the department yet.
You can't answer that question? Yeah, I'm answering it. I can't answer a question until I see the file, until I see the facts. What are you getting at, Binky boy? What are you trying to say? Because until I see the facts in front of me, I can't answer the question. But you need to answer the question. I can't answer the question, but you need to answer the question. Well, I can't possibly answer the question without the facts. You don't need the facts. We're Democrats. We don't like facts. We don't care anything about facts. Answer the question. And he won't let it go. He won't let it go. He's beating this dead horse over and over and over and over. And it gets worse. It keeps going from here.
Worry about divulging
I'm sitting
law
here as a
enforcement
nominee.
sensitive information. So just tell us,
I'm
are you
sitting here as
aware,
a nominee.
just tell us, are you aware of a factual predicate to investigate Jack Smith? Yes or no?
Senator, what I'm hearing on the news
Are
is
you aware of
horrible.
a,
Do I know if he
you
committed
seem
a crime?
reluctant,
I have not
you
looked
seem
at it.
reluctant to answer a simple question. Let me ask you a different simple question. The president also wants to jail Liz Cheney. Sitting here today, are you aware of any factual basis to investigate Liz Cheney? Yes or no?
Senator, that's a hypothetical, and I'm not going to answer that
No,
question.
it's not hypothetical. I'm asking you, sitting here today, whether you are aware of a factual predicate to investigate Liz Cheney.
Senator, no one
Based
has
on what
asked
you
me
know.
to investigate Liz Cheney. That is a
The
hypothetical.
president has called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
No one has asked me to investigate
But the president
Liz.
has
We're
called-
also
the
worried about
president-
Liz Cheney,
the
Senator.
president has
You know what
called
we
for
should
this-
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi,
The
please
crime rate
answer
in
my questions.
California right now
You
is
are
through
aware,
the roof.
Ms. Bondi,
Your robberies
Ms.
are
Bondi,
87%
my
higher
question-
than the national
my question
average.
is this.
That's what I
My
want to
question
be
is this.
focused on, Senator.
Do you have the
If
power to
confirmed
say
as
no to the
Attorney
president?
General.
Bondi 2, Binky boy 0.
What you're suggesting today by your non-answer is you don't have the independence to say no to the president. So let me ask you a different question. It also requires you, if you're going to be a good attorney general, to be able to tell hard truths to the president. So my questions now are, can you tell hard truths to the president? So let me start with an easy truth that you could speak to the president. Can you tell us, can you tell him that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election? Can you say that? Do you have the independence to say that? Do you have the gravitas, the stature, the intestinal fortitude to say, Donald Trump, you lost the 2020 election? Can you tell us that here today?
I think it's hilarious. He's trying to goad her into this. This is insane to me. Nobody cares. You want me to tell you how I know nobody cares? Who's getting ready to take the presidency Monday morning? Donald Trump. Yeah, nobody cares. Why are you even talking about this, Binky boy? This has nothing to do with nothing. Why? What does it have anything to do with her getting the confirmation to be the AG? Why should she go up to Donald Trump and say, oh, by the way, you didn't win the 2020 election? Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares except Binky boy. And this continues on. This is all this guy did this entire time questioning Bondi. He looks like an absolute idiot. He is stuck in 2020 and he cannot get beyond it. And how he ended up as a senator, beyond me. Absolutely beyond me.
Senator, what I can tell you is I will never play politics. You're trying to engage me in a gotcha. I
No,
won't
I'm just
do it.
asking you a simple
I
question.
won't play
If you can
politics
speak truth
with any
to
ongoing
power. So let me ask you
investigation,
another.
like you did
let me-
leaking your
let me ask
colleague
you,
Devin Nunes's memo.
If you can.
Oops. Bet he didn't think that was going to come out, did he? Oops. That would be what? Bondi 3? Schiff 0, I do believe.
So the question, let me ask you a different, what should be a simple truth, not a hard one. Was there massive fraud affecting the result of the 2020 election? Yes or no?
Senator, I'm glad you asked that question. If you'll let me answer what I saw in Pennsylvania.
No.
No, right here. Right here. Now, he doesn't want to hear facts. He doesn't want to hear truth. And listen how he's wording this. Any massive fraud that could have changed the election. Massive fraud. Because we don't care about fraud. We only care about massive fraud. You know, it's kind of like we don't care if you just rob a little money from the bank. We only care about robbing massive amounts of money from the bank. This guy's such a clown. Absolute moron. And doesn't let her answer the question. She keeps trying to say, well, let me talk about what I saw in Pennsylvania because that's the only knowledge I have. And he just keeps trying to shut her down. He keeps trying to back her into this corner, and she doesn't take the bite. Watch.
I asked a simple question about massive fraud.
I can only tell you what I saw in Pennsylvania.
I know you want to answer a different question, but my question is, can you tell us whether there was massive fraud affecting the results of the 2020 election? Yes or no? Was there or was there not?
I can tell you what I saw when I went
That's
as an
not my,
advocate
that's
to
not
the
my
campaign.
question. So you can't answer that question. You can't speak that even easy truth to us, let alone to the president. So let me ask you a different question.
Okay, now what I wish he would have said is, okay, can you prove there wasn't fraud during the 2020 election? Because we just saw fraud in Pennsylvania. We just saw it. Every news station in the world reported on it. The Democrats were cheating. Everybody reported on it. We just saw it. So why would we think they weren't cheating in 2020 when we caught them cheating in Pennsylvania in 2024? Kind of makes sense to me. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
It will also be important that you give good advice to the president. Are you prepared to advise the president not to pardon people who beat police officers?
Senator, as I said, the pardons are at the direction of the president. We will look and we will advise. I will look at every case on a case.
so you
Let me
look
finish.
at-
On a case-by-case basis.
Okay, good.
And I abhor violence to police officers.
Follow up with that. So will it be your advice to the president, Mr. President, I know you said you want to issue hundreds of pardons on day one. Will it be your advice to the president? No, Mr. President, I need to go over them on a case-by-case basis. Do not issue blanket pardons. Will that be your advice to the president?
Senator, I have not looked at any of those files. If confirmed, I will look at the files
And
for
will
the
you be able to
pardons, as well
will
as
you
the
be able to
ongoing
review
investigation.
hundreds of cases on day one?
I will look at every file I am
Of course
asked
you
to
won't.
look
So
at.
will you advise the
Hey,
president?
can I
will
answer
you-
the question?
Well, my question
I
is-
would have plenty of staff. You said, of course you want.
You'll be able to review
Listen, I'm
hundreds
not
of
going to
cases on the first
mislead
day?
this body nor you.
All right, let me ask another question. You don't want to answer that. Let me ask
You were
another question.
censured by
It will
Congress,
also-
Senator, for
it will
comments just
also-
like this that
it
are
will
so
also-
What is that, Bondi 4? Shift 0? And, this is blanket pardons, on first day in office. You're going to blanket pardons of the January 6th protesters. Give me a break. Binky boy, wake up. Hypocrite boy, wake up. Let's talk about this. So Joe Biden commuted, 43 murderers on death row? Commuted their sentence, right? 43? Was it 43? I think it was 37 or 43. I can't remember. 43 total, 37 got off, I think. On death row, commuted their sentence. Murderers, people who killed somebody else. Joe Biden gave them an option. But the people they were killing didn't have an option, did they? Their option was to die. That was it. Or to be raped and died. And one of the murderers, I'm not going to mention names, sliced the mother's throat in front of the daughter so the daughter could watch. Then went and killed the daughter. And Joe Biden commuted his death penalty. So you want to talk about that, Adam Schiff? Or are you just going to be straight up hypocrite? Because right now you look like a straight up hypocrite. Or how about all the people with drug charges that he commuted their sentence and let them all out of jail? Meanwhile, we have people from January 6th who literally did nothing but show up, walk into the Capitol, who's still sitting in jail. Don't you think it's a little hypocritical, Binky boy? Maybe just a touch. Let's talk about pardons. Did Joe Biden just not pardon his son that he swore he would not pardon? For all kinds of good, fun crimes. Sounded a little bit like not Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner there, didn't I? All kinds of good, fun crimes. Let's see, tax evasion? Yeah, Wesley Snipes went to jail for 3 years for less tax evasion than Hunter Biden. Wesley Snipes. That's right. Everybody knows who Wesley Snipes is. He gets away with violating the Mann Act. In case you don't know what the Mann Act is, that's sex trafficking. Yeah, Hunter Biden was sex trafficking. Flying prostitutes from state to state to state. That's sex trafficking. Violating the Mann Act. And he's so stupid, he literally put it on video doing blow or meth or whatever with one of the prostitutes he flew from another state. And put it on video. He gets to walk. It's all good. He signed his name on a federal form that he lied on for the same law that his dad championed into law. Hunter Biden broke that law. He gets to walk. 11 years worth of crimes washed away by Joe Biden's pardon. Could we be any more hypocritical here, Binky boy? Maybe just a little.
Also be important for you to be able to preserve the records, the evidence of the department. Are you ready to commit that none of the evidence in the January 6th investigation will be destroyed under your watch?
Senator, I will follow the law. I will consult with ethical officials in the
Do
department.
you see any ethical basis to destroy evidence in the January 6th investigation? Then why can't you answer the question? Why can't you say, I commit to this committee, we will never destroy the evidence in the January 6th investigation? Why can't you give this committee and the American people that assurance?
Are you frightened because evidence was destroyed against President Trump that was false? Is that why you're frightened now? I can't believe this is even...
Why do you have difficulty?
She is killing this guy. He's like a very piss poor comedian on stage that is bombing right now. And she's the heckler. And she's winning the battle. And that's what I was talking about. He's trying to goad her into saying things that they're guilty of. Yeah, evidence was destroyed. Against the evidence they had against Donald Trump was destroyed. We'll never know the truth now because it's gone. The evidence is gone. But he wants to make sure she's not going to do the very things that they did.
Answering that question.
I can't believe you're asking such a question.
Why do you have difficulty promising to preserve evidence at the Department of Justice? Why is that a difficult question?
I will follow the law.
Unbelievable. And the bad thing is this is how the whole Senate confirmation has gone. The Republicans go up and they applaud them for their jobs. You know, Pam Bondi, she was a hell of an attorney in Florida. She was Florida's attorney general, a hell of an attorney general. That's how she got this job. She did a great job in Florida. She's very highly qualified for this job. They really don't have anything they can dig up on her that they can hit her with. Well, you know, you're drunk. Well, you know, you used to be a prostitute. You know, we saw you down 5th and Main walking the street in your Clear Hills. You know, they have nothing they can say on her. So they're going to sit and ask her ridiculous questions like this. And he's just one of many who did the same thing. And all it came down to, literally from all of the Democrats, is we're going to try to make sure that none of Trump's nominees do the very thing that we did under Joey Poopy Pants Biden and Kamala Drinks on the House Harris. We want to make sure you all don't do the same thing that we did. Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. She's going to get confirmed. She's more than qualified for the job. More than qualified. She's going to get confirmed. Donald Trump's going to take the presidency. And what's going to happen is she's going to put the faith and the trust back into the Department of Justice that has been lost by America. Nobody trusts the Department of Justice anymore. Absolutely nobody. Because of Joe Biden and Merrick Garland absolutely failing to do their job correctly. So what she's going to do is make sure that the DOJ does the job it's supposed to do for America and for Americans and put the faith and the trust back into the Department of Justice. And the Democrats hate that.